Hello and welcome to the last upload of day number 1 of our tour of Cebu. Now, we are in the accommodation provided by our tour group and it was absolutely spot on. It was exactly what was needed after a long day. It's just somewhere that you can just crash because the alarm was set for 3:30 in the morning. Now, after a full day of activities, we then just had to go off and try and get a bite to eat. I think we actually end up ordering pizza in the end because it was just a little bit easier. But there's all sorts of different bits and pieces that are around this accommodation. There's actually a laundrette just down the road from it as well. All of that kind of information with regards to all the costs and stuff will be uploaded in the one big 3-day video with all the tour group and everything like that. So each little room, I say little room, each room had its own little balcony, which one, I think, is about 5, maybe 6 stories up. And there was lots and lots of different complexes as well. So there's loads and loads of rooms just there. You had a nice comfy bed. And then the TV was absolutely enormous. So the shower and everything was spot on. Everything was perfect. Really easy to get around. You can just walk out to the front. There's a 7-Eleven just down the road and everything else like that, which we will be taking a look at in a second or two's time. So that is the room number that we're at. I'm glad I actually filmed that because, well, we forgot what complex building we were in as we started to leave because they all look exactly the same. But luckily, I spotted the car at the front, and that did not change for when we came back. So what will happen is that we do get caught out in an absolutely enormous rainstorm. So that is something that happens from time to time in the evening. But you can see all of the cars that are here are either just guests that are staying or they actually live here. So it is all purpose-built accommodation. You can see just how many complexes there are in different individual apartment buildings and things like that. And there is a pool a little bit further down that was closed, but if you walk in a straight line, that's where the pool is. And then you can see all of the other little bits and pieces that are dotted around in a second as we start to walk around. So I think actually I will end up walking down there just to show off what the pool looks like, and then we'll come back up. But it is just literally going to be a sweep of the outside. Then from here, we'll go to where all the shops and everything are. Show you what all the little bits and pieces that are on offer, and obviously where you can actually get your clothes washed and things like that, especially if you are packing very, very lightly, because day 2 and day 3 are very, very water-based activities, and it was quite difficult on night 2 to get all the bits and pieces dry. But it worked a little bit differently because we stayed in this accommodation for one night, then we set the alarm for 3:30, left at 4, so you can see that's the size of the pool, and that is the flats that we were in, so you can see the name of it just there. Then the second night, we were nowhere near here. We were hours and hours away. That again was an early start. I think that was another 4 o'clock leave. So up at 3:30 or 3:30 off at 4. Did another big tour, and then we actually went back to the accommodation where all our bags and everything were. Then we could shower, repack, get going, and then we all jumped back in the bus. And then that actually took us back to either the docks, it took us back to the airport, or any of the accommodations that you needed to go to. So it was an extremely well organized tour. 7 different stops or 8 different stops on day number 1. There's loads of stops on day number 2, which was all water based. So that'll be the next videos that follow this one. And then day number 3, again, load of different snorkeling and things like that. So it was a fantastic experience, and I can't wait to share all of the different videos that are going to be coming with the uploads that are from day number 2 and again from day number 3. So again, if you have actually stayed here or you have done any of these tours before, then obviously please do let me know. But like I said, you do not get to pick any of these bits and pieces. When you book the package, it is literally you are here for one night and then you move on. So you can't really book the night before because that is not where the tour starts from. So what they tend to do is they go all the way down to where the docks and everything are. They'll pick you up and then they'll take you back around. So we are now walking all the way around the front of the building, as you can see, and it continues. There's loads and loads and loads of these. You can keep going, I think, in a straight line, or you can just walk where we're going now in a straight line to the main road. From the bottom here, you can then turn left, obviously turn right, and then there is just a strip of different bits and pieces that you need with regards to grabbing yourself something to eat and all of the other little bits and pieces that are available. So it was very, very helpful and handy that it was just here, especially when you're hungry after a very, very long day, and you can get all sorts of different bits and pieces delivered if you want to. So if you want to use your Grab app or anything like that, and then you can literally have to walk all the way down to the front, so where that car is indicating out left, that's where you have to walk to pick up your food from the driver, obviously, and then you can just take it back and stuff your face before you go back to sleep. But What you've got to be careful of is not ordering it too late, because it could obviously potentially turn up a little bit later than you expect. And then with your alarm going at 3:30 in the morning, it is a challenge. Now, if I remember rightly, we will go out here, turn left, and then there is actually a nice little eatery place just on the left-hand side, where you can try all sorts of different bits and pieces. So you're into really hot, spicy foods, and obviously you can try all of those bits and pieces. Easy enough to get around. As you can see, you've got loads of different drivers that can pick you up and take you all over the place. But because we had been driving literally all day, we just wanted a short walk around. So you can see that you've got all the little bits and pieces just over the road. And then as you're coming down, it's easy enough. You can see exactly what it is. It's just a nice little place. It's really, really quiet. You can't hear any of the traffic from the room. And obviously, you're set so far back from the road, you can't hear any of this whatsoever. But you've got a little pharmacy there on the left hand side. You've also got a Mart there, which has actually had an amazing drinks. The drinks in there were very, very, very cheap, which was great. So they're much, much cheaper than 7-Eleven. And then you can see there's your spin plug. Spin Plus, sorry. So that is where you can obviously wash all your clothes and things like that, which is great. And then you have got all the other little bits and pieces there with regards to snacks, drinks, hiring bits and pieces, whatever it is that you need. You can just pick them up, and then you can carry on. But that laundrette that was over the road, there probably it was about 8 bays, I think. So each bay had a washer and a dryer, so you can just go in there nice and quickly. Now this is the bit with regards to having your food if you wanted to eat some bits and pieces. So you've got all the tables and chairs in the middle, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably 9 or 10 different food outlets if you want to, little food hubs and all that kind of thing just there. Obviously, it's getting on a little bit because we got there a little bit later on in the evening. The clock in the room, if you were eagle-eyed, said 10:15, but the battery was actually flat on that, so it wasn't that late at night. Because it does get dark at this time of year quite early over in the Philippines, so it was probably 7, half 7 at this time. So I think we managed to have a pizza and then try and get some sleep by sort of 9 o'clock, and then obviously alarms going off at 3:30 to be out the front for 4 o'clock, which is always good fun when it's been a very, very eventful trip already. So you have got little stores and things opening up. So where this blue umbrella stand is here, that is where you can get some different eggs and all that kind of thing if you wanted to. And again, if you're into different types of cuisine, you can basically stuff your face on anything that you want to. So you can really go to town and try all the little bits and pieces from either the vendors, or you can sit in and actually eat it all from the main restaurants and things like that. But it was a beautiful sunset. So we were very, very lucky at the time. But you would not believe how heavy it rains on the way back. It looks like it's going to be a glorious evening, and it put you into a false sense of security because it absolutely smashes it down. So you got that to look forward to, as we cower in some different places. So you can see you got another convenience store just there. So you got another that's a meat shop and convenience store. Loads of places you can just grab some snacks and drinks and anything like that. So if you are obviously a foreigner and you're unsure of any of the street food or any of the local stores for whatever reason, in case you've got diet issues or whatever it is like that, like I said, you've got big 7-Eleven just there to the left-hand side. You've got all of the convenience stores just on the other. So you can easily get snacks and drinks, absolutely no problem. The convenience store that we walked past, that I said was much cheaper than 7-Eleven, had so much stuff in as well. And then, of course, like I said, you can just order basically anything from Grab that you can think of. And obviously the delivery drivers they'll just drop it off, no problems. Even though this looks like it's quite a small little area, you're not too far away from another big town where they will have all the big eateries in there. So, like I said, pizza, anything like that you can get, and it was very, 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 very tasty. But it literally is just a strip, because if you carry on walking up in a straight line, it kind of just stops. And then if you turn back round again and walk the other way, it's kind of exactly the same. So it is what it is with what we're doing at the moment, because what you see is what you get. There's no more shops from here. There might be if you were to jump in on a little bike or anything and just go up maybe another 5-10 minute drive, and there might be some more bits and pieces there, and there might be some more bits and pieces the other way. But we didn't go off an adventure that way because I was far too hungry, and we're both very, very tired after a very, very fun day. But you can see they're in the process of building lots of different bits and pieces, and obviously Cebu it's a beautiful, beautiful place. And this tour allowed you to see all of it, because it basically took you around the whole island, which is great. So I think on the right-hand side now, that is your last eatery. That is your last chance to grab yourself some food. And you can see you got beef steak and some of the little bits and pieces. And I'm pretty sure we're about to take a look at the menu on that one as well, so you can see all the little bits and pieces that are on there, because it's something I always forget to do. So I did this time do it so you can see what you've got. So you've got crab, shrimp, and rice. You've got scallops on there. You've got all sorts of different bits and pieces. Now, the really annoying thing is, it was just starting to get to that light where the camera starts to lag. And not only that, it was really still struggling with all the water damage that it decided to have the day before. So maybe a day or two, it was basically unusable. And then this was the first day that I did actually manage to use it, and realized now that what was supposed to be a nice waterproof camera is now no longer. So I can't use this for traveling anymore. So I will have to get a new camera. So any idea of what I should go to and upgrade from a GoPro Hero 8? That would be fantastic. Because the picture quality in this is absolutely phenomenal, I think, with regards to it just being easy, portable, and you can just carry it around. But obviously times have changed over like the last 5 or 6 years, and I'm sure there's lots of new things. I know there's going to be new stuff coming out towards the end of this year. So you can see that to the left-hand side is what's under construction. To the right-hand side, there are bits and pieces either available to rent, or again, they're under construction as well. There's lots and lots of people walking up and down looking for food and all that kind of thing. Because don't forget, I would imagine where we were in the morning, there was another 2 or 3 minibuses waiting to leave, and each one of them had 14 in. I think you can fit up to 14 people in each. So yeah, so there would be plenty of people every single night this happens, mind. So the tour happens every single day. The driver does the same tour, drops off at the same place, picks you, and it's a different tour operator. It's a different driver from the same tour operator in the morning, and then they take you on. But the smell walking up and down this street was so nice. So you can see that they're all cooking different bits and pieces on the outside. It was very tasty. So again, if you're a fan of 7-Eleven for whatever reason, it was a big store and it had lots of nice things in. I know people go traveling around the world to get into those things, but they're just common practice over in the Philippines. There's another laundry service just there as well. So in fact, there was 2. I didn't actually spot that. So there was actually 2 of them on the same strip. I saw the one directly over the road from the hotel, but I didn't really notice that one a little bit further up. So the price point of those were good. And you can see I'm following Admira at the moment because she is leading the way. And then again, you've got other bits and places so you can stop off and eat on the left-hand side. So, plan of attack of what is to come over the next couple of videos from Cebu. We have got probably 4 or 5 different videos from day 2, and they are much more adventurous. So this is the end of all of the city bits and pieces. From here, we have got a load of snorkeling, we've got a load of basically rock climbing and all of that kind of thing, and it gets emotional very quickly. It's good fun. And then we have got all sorts of snorkeling with huge turtles and all GoPro footage from the actual people that were taking us down underneath the water. It was amazing because we went as a group. They then provided a underwater camera, filmed everybody sort of swimming around, and they just give you the footage, and I can then edit it however I want to edit it. And it wasn't just for that; it was also on another private island. We had the luxury of doing that as well. So there's going to be lots and lots of underwater footage to come sooner rather than later. So, are you a fan of what has happened in day number 1? Is this a kind of thing that you would like to do? Because, like I said, I will go over all of the details from day number 1, 2, and 3, and basically hop from one thing to another, explain what they entail. Because what you've got to remember is you pay your fee and everything is covered for you. You get picked up, you go to all the places, you don't have to queue for any of the tickets, you don't have to worry about the hotel or anything like that. They literally tell you what room you're in, give you the key, and then they just say, see you at this time in the morning. And that's it. It is as simple as that. We did not know what to expect. The fact that we saw absolutely everything was amazing, and there's so many different things that we managed to do over just this one day, because I'm looking at this going, I can't believe this is just the end of day number 1. It's a bit different when you upload each video individually, but when I'm actually going to upload all 3 days and just talk about everything that was done in 3 days, you'll realize that there is a lot of stuff done in those 3 days. So you've got to learn to, if you want to sleep in the actual little minibus, because like I said, up at 3:30, gone at 4, you get to your first destination by 6. You see the sunrise for certain bits and pieces, you go swimming with the fish, yada. Then you might have another 90-minute drive until you get to your next thing. You see beautiful countryside and everything like that. And then before you know it, you're at your next activity. And one of the activities is literally, it's like a 3 or 4 hour walk. Now, that beautiful looking red sky is full of rain. So you can see the blue. Obviously, looks nice. But there is some rain coming in, and we are about to get caught out. So you can see that we're both having a giggle, and I'm not 100% sure what was just said. So I'm going to go quiet, and yeah, we'll re-listen to that bit. I don't know why I don't actually vlog. I do a voiceover on the travel stuff, but on the Lego videos, I'd have the camera turned facing me and talking to the camera.
But you used to be like that, because I saw your past videos.
Yeah, but not on the travel channel. When I go to Billund, I talk to the camera. I still would.
So this guys is the accommodation for tonight.
Yeah, she got shy. So what that was all about was, should I do a vlogging style rather than a voiceover style? Because on the secondary channel that I have, which is obviously all Lego based, I normally walk and talk to the camera, so I don't actually have to do the voiceover. So Admira was trying to do the introduction to the video, and as you can see, she got a little bit shy. So I think what I'm going to do next time we go traveling together is I'm just going to give her the camera, and she can do the walking and talking, and I think we'll just upload it onto the channel and see what you guys and girls think. So you've got like a little taxi rank here just to the right hand side, so you can obviously just get on any of these and get around absolutely no problem, because this is, if I remember rightly, quite close to the airport, and it's also quite close to the port as well, if I remember. Like I said, there'll be full actual information and facts on the other video, but this one I am just trying to think that I don't think it is too far away, so that's why you could easily stay there, no problem, and then you could just shoot off, because close to where the airport is and close to where the port is, it is very, very busy. There's loads and loads of different places that you can eat. It's very, very built up. It's like the equivalent of London. It's packed with just stuff everywhere. So this is almost just, like I said, much sort of smaller little town, and then you go into a city, and then when you get to some of the cities, well, they are huge. I was shocked by just how big all of these places were. Again, you've got a little store just there to grab some food and drink if you need any. Another one or two stores down, and then it finishes that end. You've got a barber just to the left-hand side if you need a last-second haircut for whatever reason. And now we are just going to be walking back up to the accommodation, and then just pick out all the little bits and pieces that we need ready for tomorrow. And then, of course, what we will be doing is ordering a pizza, stuffing our faces, and then setting the alarm for very, very early in the morning. And to be honest, I wouldn't have changed a thing. I think it was fantastic. As long as you know and you are aware that you have to get up super early, that's absolutely fine. I did not know we had to get up this early until we got here. That was kept from me. So that was a little bit of a surprise that we had to get up at sort of 3:30 every single day. It's definitely worthwhile having a little break the day after, so you can just walk around the little city, because this tour group will do here, and then they can actually then get you on a ferry. Then you can go on another 3-day tour of another island if you want to, but they do put a day break in for you just to basically kind of recover. And it is quite nice then that you sort of have a little bit of time just to relax and just sort of look around, because it is very, very full on. And we were a little bit late coming back on night number 2, because the trio of boys, which were all legends, they overslept, basically. It was somebody's birthday. They got absolutely smashed, and their alarm didn't wake them up. So we're all sat in the minibus before 4 a.m. in the morning, and I think they rock up at like 20 to 5. So after knocking and knocking on their door to get them up, we all then leave. So obviously that's all to look forward to in the 3-day thing. And then we went off and just had an amazing time doing all the bits and pieces. And it was quite funny knowing that they're horrendously hungover, and they had to do like a 3 or 4 hour hike going through all the mountains and things, which was amazing. I can't wait to share that video with you. So we're now just going to walk back up in a straight line. And I think then we'll come back in. I can't remember what else is in this video. So I'm actually going to watch it all the way to the end. I can't remember if the video ends with the rain or it ends back in the hotel room, because it was a couple of weeks ago that I put this together, but I'm only doing the voiceover now. So Admira needed a snack, so she was getting herself an egg, as you do. So this is Admira opening up her egg and having all the different sauces and making it all neat and tidy and all that kind of thing. And then I think I then get a drink from 7-Eleven, and we get rained on. And I think that's how the evening went. So it was a quick shower, quick pizza, and like I said, straight to sleep. But I cannot recommend enough, if you are going to somewhere, it doesn't matter where it is you're going, anywhere in the Philippines, even if and you are struggling for time and you only have like 2 nights, 3 days, or 3 nights. Yes, there we go. That's what I mean. That literally happened within 45 seconds. So when we got to the bit where Mira just was having her egg, it started to drizzle, and then this happened. So I told you it was coming out. No, we are about to come back into the hotel room for the last couple of minutes. So I'll tell you about what I think you should do while you're looking at all these little bits and pieces. You can see what I'm doing now is all the stuff on charge for the following day. We've got every single bit charging, so phones, power backups, power packs, all the batteries, everything like that, all charged. And the kitchen's very, very well equipped. It just has everything you need. Like I said, you're literally going to be there for a few hours, and then you're sleeping, and then you are good to go. But if you are struggling for time, and you've only got 2 nights, 3 days, or 3 nights, 4 days, and you are umming and ahhing whether to do it with a tour or a DIY, where you sort of do it yourself as a sort of you organize all the little bits and pieces, you would not be able to see half the stuff we did in the time frame we went if it wasn't an organized tour. It's almost impossible. I could not figure out how they managed to do what they did. It's so well organized, and the experiences that you have are incredible. And a lot of them are just because it's with the group. So they have the other companies that they then put them to. They've got contacts with. Like I said, you go out scuba diving. So you can scuba dive, or you go snorkeling with these groups, and they know exactly where to take you. You go down to where all the massive fish are. They film it all for you, and then they give you the footage. Where if you did that yourself, you would not know where to go. Don't even know if you're allowed to do it, and you probably wouldn't be able to get any of the footage filmed or anything like that. So hands down, if I went over here again, that is something that I would do. So this is again just a room of lights, room tour of the other little bits and pieces. The air conditioning was great. Loads and loads of plug sockets absolutely everywhere, which is brilliant. And the TV had apps, which means you could go on YouTube and then you can watch some different bits and pieces on there if you wanted to. But guys, that is it. And I am done for the end of day number 1 of our Cebu tour. And like I said, it's been an absolute joy watching all this back, and I cannot recommend this enough. And I'm looking forward to getting all 3 days put together. Once all 3 days are put together, we are then going back to the Universal Singapore uploads for 2025. There is a lot of theme park content to come. But if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll catch you next one.